Okay, next I got a question. Mark, I'm getting ready to build an electronics workbench and would like to design it similar to your bench. Would you please answer the following questions? What's the height from the floor, your workbench top, the dimensions of the top? What's the distance from your workbench top to the first shelf? What's the distance from the first shelf to the second shelf? What's the depth of your two shelves? Look, I'll post the response to this out on my website at blueglow.net under, I think it's called sketches and diagrams or something like that. I'll post it up there, but I just thought I would show a little bit of how I made this workbench. Okay, keep in mind everybody's workbench and what they build will be a little different because you're trying to fit it within the room you've got. This room I'm in right now is about 16 feet by 12 feet. It's my office in the basement. And at one point I had my workbench somewhere else. And I decided, I was getting up and leaving my computer work, my desk here, and going to it and then coming back to my computer back and forth. So I decided to build this little station where basically I'm sitting at my computer right now. As you can see, I can just turn around here and be working on electronics. And I can spin back around here on my computer where I've got multiple 21-inch monitors on the desk here. And that worked for me. So having something that fit back here was perfect. So onward, I use this stuff called 2x4 Basics. You can go to the website. You can order this stuff from Amazon, Walmart, wherever. It's easy to get. Click here on Garage and Storage, and then you can kind of see here. You can piece this stuff together all different ways. But the cool thing about it, the only materials you're using are these little, I call them plastic, but they're something much more rugged than plastic. Pieces that hold things together, they call them links, and 2x4s. So if you've got a simple saw that can chop 2x4s and a ruler, you can go to town with this stuff. So I click here then on shelf links, and you can kind of see this picture here. This is kind of what I've done. So my part above the workbench that holds the oscilloscopes and the test equipment and whatnot, it is completely freestanding on its own, and it is super heavy duty. I never have to worry about my shelf sagging with, that HP 8903 Spectrum, the 3582 Spectrum Analyzer, thing weighs about 70 pounds. If you put that on some cheap shelf, it would significantly bow in the middle. And you kind of see back here, I've also got Syncor power amplifier analyzer. I've got a Fluke, a BNC signal generator, and I've got a Syncor SG80 FM analyzer up here, all on one shelf. That's probably about 120 pounds of gear. So that's one thing I love about it. The 2x4 shells can handle that weight and not sag or bow at all. And then let me give you the dimensions then of what I've got. I'm going to put that up on my website under sketches and info at www.blueglow.net. But as you can see here on my workbench, I could grab this commercial bench that I bought off of Craigslist for $100. It was an anesthetic top. But I could pull this completely out from underneath the shelf above it if I wanted to, and it's worked for me. And it was cheap as dirt. These little links that you put together, and let me show you these pictures here of kind of how it stands and self-standing. And you can see here I've got my I've just put screws in the side to hold all my cables and whatnot. This stuff is dirt cheap. 2x4s are dirt cheap. I did pick out the best of the best 2x4s. I spent a lot of time at Lowe's trying to get really good straight ones. But the good news is if it's indoor, you don't even have to buy treated wood. I just kind of bought the premium 2x4s. So hopefully you like what I've got here, and maybe it'll inspire you to build something on your own. I've also got, if I go back here, they under Garage and Storage, if you go to workbench legs here, they sell a kit to make a table, and that my tube tester table in the other room I built with this. So all you do there is buy 2 sheets of plywood. You don't have to cut them at all. They drop right down into these legs. You throw some 2x4s around it for framing and support, and you're done. It took me about an hour to build the workbench here, and I'll show you a picture of it as well. Super simple. It took me way longer to stain it and put lacquer on it than it ever did to actually build the bench. Alright, so if you go out on my website, blueglow.net, and then click on sketches and info here, I kind of posted this question the guy asked me and the dimensions and whatnot. I wouldn't build it to the exact T. I would build what makes sense for your room. But hey, you could even build the bottom part across here instead of just a standalone workbench under it. You could build straight across there and use the same supports and make your workbench top out of it as well. So hopefully it's useful, and I had fun making this one. So thanks for watching, everybody.